Hello, welcome back to Football United TV. I'm joined by Chelsea fan Charlotte, Arsenal fan Stephen. How are you both doing? Let's ask you first, Stephen, because I know Charlotte will go on a little rant, so can't wait for this. Stephen, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Good win last night. Yeah, it was only West Brom, but there was actually good football from Arsenal for once, and a lot more direct, a lot more confidence, and the confidence started growing throughout the game, and that's 3 wins on the bounce now. Obviously, Arteta, obviously for me, is not out of the woods yet, but it's a start, and now 3 points behind Chelsea, I believe.
So you're 3 points behind Chelsea, and this is the reason why we're doing the vlog and the live right now, is because we want to see what Charlotte has to say after that kind of miserable result. I'll give Chelsea credit for getting that goal at the end from Hudson-Odoi. 3-1 against City isn't too bad, really isn't. Like I wouldn't laugh at that.
If it was against a City that actually hadn't had their players missing, I wouldn't care. But this is not a City that, yes, they had Sterling, De Bruyne, Foden. I'm not taking that away. But the way we played, it genuinely looks like the players aren't playing for Lampard. And if that's the case, Lampard out. Done. Because if the players aren't going to play for the manager, what's the point in having the manager? I could support Frank and want Frank to succeed, which I do. I want Frank to succeed. He's a Chelsea legend, and I've supported him since day dot. I want him to succeed. But if the players aren't playing for you, why should I support you anymore? I have to take away the fact that you're a legend and that you're a manager, and I have to separate them and say, if the players aren't playing for you, A, why aren't they playing for you? B, you switched it to Werner being in central, and you're still losing. Even though Werner did good, I'm not even complaining. The fact that his confidence has been knocked and he actually did sort of turn up. I'm so confused. Can we talk about the third goal? What? My mind is genuinely blown. How does something to help us, advantage us, a free kick to us, leading them getting a goal? A free kick for us should involve us getting a goal, not handing over to the other team.
That's something that Arsenal would do.
This is the problem I'm having, is that I am genuinely struggling.
Can I just generally ask? Sorry, can I just generally ask? Because everyone's going about Arteta and the players not playing for Arteta, right? So if that's the case, then can we now start looking at Chelsea and start saying, "Oh, the players not playing for Frank Lampard," and that they're now getting dragged into this relegation side battle that apparently Arsenal are in, because we're only 3 points above them now. That's my big question over it.
What would you say about that, Charlotte?
Right now, we could.
We're losing connection with Charlotte, aren't we, Stephen?
The computer, she's on such a rant. The computer's not having
it. Charlotte, we can't. It's going really slowly. If you can hear me. There she go. Should Frank Lampard stay as Chelsea manager till the end of the season? We're going to ask you, as an Arsenal fan, Stephen. Do you this would be controversial. Do you? What do you make of that?
I honestly think that, knowing Chelsea, he won't last till February.
Really?
You know what Abramovich is like. If he hears what's going on with Chelsea at the minute, he did it with Villas-Boas, and what happened after they got rid of Villas-Boas? They're not winning the Champions League with Di Matteo.
Yeah, he does get rid of him quite quickly.
He won't be. He won't be loyal to Lampard. He won't care one bit in his eyes. Right? It will be, if you're not performing and you're not getting results, though I've spent £250 million on you, right?
260. Get this right.
260. Sorry.
Don't take that 10 mil off. It's £260.
But even then, it's that Abramovich will just go, "No, bye. You wasted my money. Get out of here."
Do you know what the problem I have is that people keep saying Frank's still getting used to it and still finding his feet. Last season, if we fucked up, the man would take risks the next game. What? Because we've bought new players, we can't take risks now. Because if we mess up in a game, we can't take risks. That's not how it fucking works in life. If you can't,
you've got a better squad this season than that last season. He got
exactly.
top 4.
That's my problem. That's my problem. We couldn't buy players last season, yet Frank was taking risks. We had to use our youth, yet Frank was taking risks. We got top 4 and Frank had nothing. Now he's got everything.
That's why
will.
when we beat you in the FA Cup, I still would generally say, yeah, Arteta did well, but in the end, look where Chelsea are in terms of the top 4 race, and look what they've had to deal with. They've had to deal with no buying any players whatsoever, and yet getting to the top 4. And
do you know what? I've really had enough of this.
He's better than what Emery did with Arsenal, and supposedly we had a better squad, right? And what Arteta did with what the rest of the season.
Agree. Would you agree with that comment below as well?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why?
Like, if we don't win an FA Cup and finish top 4, Frank's done as a manager. Like, if this continues till the end of January, I'm done. Like, I'm already done as it is. Like, I have to watch these games and, like, I've got to the point where
I feel my pain.
I struggle to watch them now because I expect the worst. Everyone came at me when I predicted a 2-1 win to Man City. And I was 1 goal off, to be fair. Like, I'm quite proud of myself. But, you know, the problem I have is that when people are saying, oh, you're not even supporting your team. No, I'm just being realistic. I'm stating facts of what's happened. And look what's happened. I have just got to the point where I was predicting that Chelsea would win and they were failing me. And I was just getting really disappointed and fed up. Whereas at least I'm not getting fed up now. I'm like, yeah, I expected it. And that's sad to say because, like, I don't particularly want to have to, like...
No, hello.
She went again. She's having really bad internet connection.
I don't particularly want to have to put up with this. Like, I really don't. It's not fair. Like, we shouldn't have to watch our team and just think like this is appalling. Like this, it genuinely was like attending a funeral. You just want it to be over. And that's how I felt about this game. I literally, after the second goal, I just wanted it to be over.
You said, Charlotte, at half time, you said like he's not going to make the right substitutions. He should have made them. There, she's gone again. Absolutely.
It's like what I was feeling like. But I mean, you look at a couple months before, like Arsenal were like even worse, I would say, or just as bad, right? And everyone was coming on my channel, and literally we had Charlotte like got introduced into my channel, and I was just having to sit there. I mean, I think I think the first time you turned up on my channel was the Tottenham game, wasn't it? Right, and literally during that Tottenham game, it got to the second half, and I started watching the Grand Prix on my phone because it was that bad, and it's now starting to look the same way with Chelsea, and for people that are realistic as fans, like myself, like Charlotte, and that, right? They don't deserve that. Why do I deserve to be bantered? Because most of my fan base are deluded, or like Chelsea's fan base is like Monster coming up with stuff like pray for the rivals and everything like that. Well, maybe you should start praying for yourself because you're going to get bantered by your rivals, right? But unfortunately, people, and we all get shoved with that same brush because we're part of that fan base. But we're like the realistic ones, and I'm like, no, but hang on, what have I done?
Would you agree with that down below from Wayne Smith?
Giroud shouldn't have started. Giroud should not have started, period, end of. He should not have started. He doesn't need to start. I'm happy with the starting line. I was happy with the starting lineup. When I looked at the piece of paper, like when I looked at it, when you look at it on paper, the starting lineup looked amazing. It looked great. We shouldn't have had any issues. Giroud, personally, wouldn't. I wanted to see what Werner was like in Central, and we got that. Like, everyone's been wanting that. We got what we wanted. And yes, Werner played great. Like in the first, like I can't complain about his performance too much. I'm not saying it was the greatest performance, but he didn't do poorly either. But the only issue I have is that like I don't know. Like we had opportunities. Like We had opportunities, but no one really turned up again until it was too late. Like, you could. Gareth Southgate, absolutely not. Gareth Southgate makes the most outrageous decisions in the whole bloody world. Absolutely not.
You'd rather rely
He
on someone who can't take a
chooses.
penalty.
He chooses everyone else over Sancho and Grealish. Don't come for me until you're done.
Oh,
Like, Grealish is a talented player and should. Like, I'm sorry. No, that makes me angry. Like, this is just getting me vexed.
I was going to say to you, do you think that the fact that Frank Lampard didn't make the substitutions at half time was something that he definitely should have done? Do you think that was a mistake for him?
I've had
something
this
that probably
decision.
Mourinho would have done
I've
if
had
it
this
was going that
decision.
bad.
Yeah, no,
And
but
but
this
many
is the
times,
problem.
but the thing is, many times I sat there with Wenger and we would be about 4-0 down to Chelsea at like half time or Man City or wherever, and I'm sitting there like, you don't change anything to the 70th minute. What the fuck? Right? Do something.
No, this is the problem I have is that no, Frank makes late substitutions, and I've said this so many times before. And the only person you can blame for a late substitution is the manager. I can't blame anybody else. I genuinely, physically can't blame anybody else. He's the man that decides when they turn up. Not Abraham or not any of the players. None of the players decide. He does. And if he's going to make that decision for stupidness of like turning up for 15 minutes, putting a player on for 15 minutes doesn't usually make a difference and hasn't done in the last 3 games. Look at the Arsenal game. Look at the Villa game. Look at, I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit because I don't know how to process this. Like, he's genuinely making poor decisions and I'm questioning his ability to manage a club. Like, because you can't make poor decisions, but then again, the players aren't turning up. So he's making poor decisions, but why aren't the players playing for him? Because the players aren't playing for him right now. And if he switched up the squad as we wanted and they're still not playing for him, what's the problem? Because if he switched Werner to central, like he started Ziyech, he started Pulisic, like we got what we wanted, but he's still not. They're still not playing for Frank. I don't really know where to go. I feel like I'm in a rut because I'm saying Frank's making bad decisions
I
by bringing
honestly
on
feel,
late subs, but the
there has
players
always
aren't
been known.
playing.
There's always been.
Bad speak, yeah.
Why? Before I came in, I don't know who it was who mentioned Sancho, but Sancho was never going to come to Chelsea anyway. And even if
I
we
mentioned
did,
Sancho. No, I was talking about Sancho in the England squad, not anything else.
okay, sick. So yeah, no, yeah, thanks for the invite, Matt. But all I'm going to say to you is, I said to everyone, don't get your hopes up just because he's changed it around. It got worse. It got worse. Steven was there as well, and I said it yesterday. It'll get worse. No one listened to me, and now look what you got. 3-0 against Man City, and not a complete squad either. I know Sterling. Sterling for me, he's not world
And this
class.
is also a Man City side that's not the same Man City side we used to know.
I think for me, Sterling is a top class player because he's like top 10 in his position, right? But tends to when he's on form, he's definitely top 5 in my opinion on the right side. But for me, he hasn't been on top form. There are certain players in teams who haven't been on top form. Aubameyang's been poor. Martial's been poor. Sterling's been poor. Them 3 players especially had great seasons last year. Yeah, listen, you should not be. Listen, I understand Sterling's a beast in that, but listen to me. He has not been on form, and your defense didn't take up a bit. And all I'm gonna say is, all the fans who thought there was going to be a change, I just don't understand how you thought change was going to work. Because Werner, oh, well, where do I even start? I said at the start of the season, everyone's like, oh yeah, Pulisic will come back, he'll do something. He's not the same player anymore. And he's never going to get better. So.
What do you think, Ads? Though, what happened to him? He seemed at the end of the last season to be like on form, and people were even looking at him and saying, like,
Can I just actually quickly just making a suggestion here? Right. We all know Chelsea have got a very big problem with player power. Do you think that's part of it?
Do you think it's been settled because of the new players coming in and they're looking like they could
maybe? It seems
but
to
that's
be
not an
excuse.
excuse.
Everyone.
No, I know, but I just don't know.
But there's always been known to be a lot of player power at Chelsea.
No, but the problem you have is that like the beginning of the season we were 17 unbeaten. Like And it genuinely on the pitch looks like the players don't want to play for him. And I don't know what's going on because
That's what I'm saying.
like they look like they don't want to play for him. But the problem you have is the minute players look like they don't want to play for a manager is the minute that Roman will go, you're done. Because he won't bother. Like if the players aren't going to play for the manager, he'll look at it and just be like, I want to win trophies. If you're not going to do that, bam, done. And I'm not saying it's Frank's fault, but the players have to take responsibility because the players on the pitch today did not turn up. Genuinely did not turn up. Now, you can say they had moments. You can say they had moments, which they did. They had like a couple of moments. But the first 2 goals Mendy was to blame for. The second goal, the third goal, the 2 goals first 2 goals were Mendy. The third goal, you can blame that on our defence. Our defence was so poor at getting back.
Charlotte, come on. First goal was not Mendy's fault. That was all Silva. That was all Silva's fault. That goal was Silva's fault. He wasn't marking his man.
No, but Mendy should have saved it. End of. And you can tell me this to the end of the day. Mendy should have saved it.
Yeah, but
Mendy's becoming the new Kepa.
Even 1 second. He isn't. I'm not having this, right? Listen. What is that? Listen, there are 3 lines of defence. You have the midfield, you have the back line, then you have the goalkeeper. If the second or the third defensive front line is not going to help you, then of course he's going to get done because the back line should be there to help him out anyway. So realistically, the first goal is all Silva's fault in my opinion. Yes, Mendy should be doing better in the second one. That I think that is his fault, but you have to blame the defence more because they should be foreshadowing the challenge before it goes in, and they didn't, and they fucked up, and then they conceded. That's the problem. As I see now, back to Pulisic, he's not the same player, and I said time and time again, it's because of injuries. He's not going back to his top form ever again. He's not. I don't care if he scores 3 goals in a game. After that 3 goals in a game, he'll never do that again. I'll say that now. Never do that again.
I will just say, like Charlotte, Jesus is here to bless you.
Charlie, big up Charlie.
I need something right now.
But before I go, yeah, all I'm gonna say is, I told you so. Like, no change is gonna help. No change is gonna help. I said this yesterday, and no one wanted to listen to me. I said if they change it, nothing's gonna change. I said it would get worse. It got worse today. So. I just read the game. I've just read the game. I've been watching Chelsea closely. When you were on that run, no one was saying, "Oh, we need to change." As soon as you start losing, the same team you were winning bits up. Everyone was like, "Oh no, you need to change it." If you changed it earlier, you would be in a worse situation now.
Ads, can I ask, just before you go, like, are Chelsea fans right for bantering Arsenal recently, or?
Oh well. Personally, for me, they're right for bantering them because Arsenal have been shit and they've only recently come back up. But the facts are, Arsenal realistically shouldn't even be bantering. They shouldn't even be bantering Chelsea. I don't know why they are. Like, who are they to banter Chelsea? But to be honest with you, the Chelsea fans who are talking crap about Arsenal's this and Arsenal's that, maybe they do deserve bantering because that's most of the fan base for you. So I don't know what to say because I said yesterday, no change is going to occur and make the situation better. It will get worse. And now everyone is looking at me like, "Oh yeah, you were right." Now they're in this mess. They're not going to get out of it. Chelsea are not. They're not. I'm done. Take care, lads. I'm out.
Lads, looking forward to our game against City on Wednesday. Oh, that's going to be difficult. You can banter me then if you want to, everybody. So I don't expect us to win, but
just to clarify, we have to play Morecambe, and I don't even think we're going to beat them. And I have an issue now with that. Like, if our players don't turn up, like,
why are you not confident about beating Man City?
Oh yeah, come on, City. Come on, City.
Why are you not confident about beating City? They're not the same team.
I'm not confident about winning, but I'm not going to say we're going to lose either. It'll be a tight, close game. It could be, and then I don't know what will happen after that. Penalties or whatever.
Derby,
come on, City.
Yeah, Charlie, did you? You probably didn't check out the game, right? But what do you make of Chelsea losing 3-1 to City today, and reflecting on Arsenal's win yesterday, which was quite remarkable in the snow as well? I add. So Ty can't blame the weather on that one, can he? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, another title contender just beat Chelsea 3-1 not too long ago, right? So it makes sense for City to do the same thing.
Do you know what? This is really hurting now. Like,
Marley, are you
it's
suggesting
not
we're
even.
in a
It's not
title
even.
race?
It's people gotta learn how to take jokes. It's
You
no,
guys are
no,
not
we're
in the title race.
no, we're not. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. I was kidding. Yo,
Wait,
Wayne,
wait,
the Fluminense fan.
Right.
Finally, it's about time another Chelsea fan hops on so they can take the heat.
Wayne
Like,
looks
I've
like that
taken the heat.
person, like he's just woke up and he's like, I had a bad dream.
We
Yeah.
lost 3-1 to Man City.
I had a bad dream.
Yeah. I think I was dreaming, but
Yeah, we were.
it's a reality check, so I don't know what's happening.
But
Well,
I
at
mean,
least we dreamed of a white Christmas last night.
Yeah.
What
I
was you
wanna.
saying, Ollie?
Did you genuinely just say you'd put Kepa on to keep a clean sheet?
Yeah. I
Well,
think
okay, that's
against
where you
Norton.
draw the line. My heart.
Wayne, you've got more
cannot
chance of
take
keeping a clean
my-
sheet than you have with your missus.
No. My heart cannot take having Kepa on. Every time I see Kepa on this bloody team sheet, my heart goes into overdrive. The heart attacks happen. I don't think my heart can take it. I age like 40 years every time that Kepa comes on. I can't do that anymore. No.
Matt, full screen.
If Kepa
Matt, full
goes
screen.
on,
Matt, full screen.
if Kepa goes on that, like, how can you
But he
even?
will,
The man is
though.
like
No, me.
literally. The man literally looks like he's on ice every time he's in the goal. He's like, oh, I'll let them nutmeg me. Oh, I'll just miss that. No, the man gives me like absolute. No, I can't. Genuinely can't. The man is absolutely insane. Like, if Frank puts Kepa in the starting lineup, I may genuinely like. I'm just gonna jump off. Like, nah, done. Absolutely can't deal with this. Like, how can you even want that? How can you want that? Have you seen Kepa? Have you seen Kepa play?
I mean, Charlotte, it's
Matt,
good.
Matt, hang on. Matt, just full screen it for a minute. Just full screen from there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Calm. I'm worried about you. Calm. Right? I'm worried about your health. Right? It's not
Mate,
doing
I'm
you any
aging
good.
like 80 years every time we play a
Yeah,
game
just
like
take
this.
a drink. Right? Whatever. Just calm. It's
Jesus, I need more. I need something
you're-
stronger than this.
Yo,
we're gonna nickname this like Charlotte's therapy session.
We have a baller that we just brought in from Iceland. He's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen. Do you want him? His name's Gunnarsson.
You can keep it.
But like,
Gunnarsson,
I honestly like, I
Gunnarsson.
did not come to banter like whatsoever. I want to say like, oh, how the mighty have fallen, because you know the mighty have fallen.
That's
But
factual.
it's this league is so crazy, mate, because I mean in the start, just like everyone else with a conscious and eyes for football, I was saying Liverpool or City are gonna win. But in the middle, I was like, I'd be very surprised if it's not Chelsea or Liverpool. I'm probably gonna change my mind like 3 more times again, so I'm probably gonna just stop guessing what's gonna happen. But it is funny to see Chelsea like that, because they were a bunch of dicks to Arsenal. They're right here. They're right here.
No. Charlotte and Wayne, they've been all right. Well, my channel at least. Don't know where they've
Charlotte's
been
been
like
all
everywhere
right.
else, but
It's
to
just
me they've been okay.
I mean,
Right,
to be fair, I'm not gonna lie.
Monster is a definite one. Monster,
I have bantered
Yeah.
Charlie a
like
little too
I've already
much.
said,
Charlotte-
like I've already said, Matt. Monster
Charlotte
needs to
is
start
really
playing like he
nice.
doesn't get bantered from his rivals.
I'm really nice.
No.
Well, look, hang on.
Charlotte is really nice. She's charismatic and all that, but she's bantering us like for ages now. Don't
Yeah, I
get
was.
it wrong. Don't get it twisted.
I'm not even denying the fact that I was bantering the hell out of you. Like, I was like, yep. But it's embarrassing now that like we've turned into Arsenal. Like, that's a bit embarrassing for me. Like, we're not playing well. We're like, we've dropped. I'd rather burn myself. Absolutely not.
Before you burn yourself, we've got Brandon in the house, AFC Fan TV, and look, we want to ask Wayne's opinion first on the game. What did you make of it? And are you agreeing with Charlotte and everybody else? Is Lampard done?
I think he's done.
Finished?
Yeah, well, he's not like the players are turning. You see, Werner and even Havertz said apparently they're turning on him. They're not playing for him. Yeah, they're not playing for him. It's like with Costa when he was playing. Was it under Jose or Conte? He didn't want to play for them. So it's the exact same, and we just need a manager that would know how to work our system, because it's not.
But Wayne, you've had this problem for fucking ages. Player power. player power has always been a problem at Chelsea. Right? How many managers have you gone through because of player power?
God, about
loads.
Yeah.
It's always been a systematic problem at Chelsea.
But it's
right. Somewhere down the line, the manager loses
that's
the
how
players.
Roman likes it. Like if you're not doing the right job, you fuck off. That's what Roman says.
What about you, Brandon? What did you make of it, and what did you make of Arsenal's performance yesterday?
Been saying it for a while, mate. You know, beginning of the season when all these Chelsea fans were coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, we're title contenders. We just spent £250 million. I expect him to win the title." Blah 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 blah. I said, Chelsea are not title contenders, and you're seeing it now. You are seeing it now. And I've come to laugh at Chelsea, but it's not going to last very long because I do still think Chelsea will finish above us. I do still think that they are better than us. They have a better squad than us. Their manager's probably on par with ours right now, to be fair. But Chelsea are a lot different to Arsenal in the sense that they will actually sack their manager and go and get somebody else. They act like a big club. Arsenal don't. We act like a small club. And that is where you'll see the difference. So mark my words, you heard it here first. Chelsea will still finish above us. As regards to Arsenal's game, you know, I expect us to beat West Brom. I expect us to beat Brighton. You know, the only surprising result out of the three was the game against Chelsea, but it doesn't change anything for us. We are still 11th in the league. It's still not good enough. And no other fan can tell me otherwise. I'm still Arteta out, unless he goes and does a madness and gets us in the Champions League, but I can't see that happening personally.
Well, I thought the same with Man United, and I thought he's never going to get us in Champions League. That, you know, when we was like 12th at like Christmas or whatever, and then we got there. So you honestly never know, especially with this season. It's so up and down, mate.
But then, but I would honestly, actually, when I looked at the table again, I'm not suggesting that we're going to get in top four. I don't think we're going to get in top four, and even particularly at the start of the season anyway. But you look at the table, we're only 10 points from the top, 6 points from top four, 3 points behind Chelsea, right? And the bottom, and the only people that are like literally detached from the rest of the league are Sheffield United, right? So, so anyone could literally have two bad games, and then all of a sudden they've gone from top four contenders to relegation contenders.
Oh yeah, it is a strange season. The only problem that we have.
But I'm not saying Arteta is going to get top four. I don't see it happening at all.
Our midfield is horrendous. Our midfield is absolute joke. And unless we sort that out, you got to think as well, right? We finished. I mean,
Brandon, we're relying on Smith Rowe, for God's sake. We're relying on a kid.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we finished 8th last season. All the teams that finished above us strengthened better than us in the transfer window. We're into the January transfer window now, but we've got a 27-man squad. A 25-man squad, but we've got 27 players, so we need to sell at least 2 of them to be enable us to get one. You know, so I can't see anything happening. I think we'll get rid of some of the dead wood. I'd be happy if we get 2 players from me. If we get 2 players, then I might change my tune a little bit and say maybe we could finish in the top 6, maybe top 4. For me, if you go and get Basuma, you go and get Buendia, that changes the whole complexion of our midfield. And then all of a sudden it changes. So it depends really what happens in this transfer window for me.
I think the most important position for Arsenal is something to go alongside Smith Rowe to help him out. Right, because I do feel at some point during the season, halfway through towards the end of the season, we're going to see a burnout with Smith Rowe because you look at him, he's not. I mean, unlike Martinelli, who's come back and you can see he's bulked up and he's built up. Like Smith Rowe is still a very young kid, at that. So you can't rely on him.
Charlotte, you look like you're disagreeing with some of that there.
Now I'm praying for like a load of Arsenal players to get injured so they don't come above us. I'm also praying that like maybe some like Man United players get injured. Like I'm sorry, you know my stance. Like I don't particularly want to harm anybody, but if they do get injured, it works to my benefit.
Yes, you do. You just said it. Like if there were no commas on that sentence, you just straight up said it. Matt, you have got to forgive me, but I gotta make it plain. These people need weed. Like, come on, Arsenal won 3 in a row, and everyone's still crying. Like, my girl here, look at her. She's literally like wishing for young kids like Martinelli to get injured. Like, she wants to finish people's
I said
careers.
Smith Rowe.
No, you said Martinelli before. Martinelli and Leno, the last video. I did not forget. You're a bad friend and a bad person. Like, Jesus Christ, like, people just gotta chill.
This is what happens when Chelsea lose. This is what happens when Chelsea
Molly, don't use your name in vain.
What?
Don't use your name in vain.
Oh, funny. He said Jesus Christ.
If you're gonna insist, I'm gonna go bald, dude. this is getting on
just
my
to
nerves.
clarify, just to point out, Brandon made a point. I've never said that Chelsea are going to win a trophy like the Premier League this season. We are not title contenders at all. However, I've always said that I want us to finish third, and if we're not finishing third and we don't get the FA Cup, then Frank can go. I mean, personally, if Frank can't actually buck up his ideas, or the players the players continue to not play for him, then he needs to go. Like, however much Frank is a legend, but Frank's a legend for our team, and I understand that. But unless the players are playing for a manager, what's the point in having the manager there? If the players won't play for you, there's no point, and they're not playing for Frank at the minute. You can see that on the pitch. I don't know what's happened between the last 4 or 5 games, but they're not playing for him anymore. It doesn't look like they're turning up for him. So genuinely, however much I want Frank to succeed, I want him to succeed. I really do. It'll be the first time we've had a manager that's come from Derby and done 1 year and then come to us, and he started from scratch as a manager and has actually succeeded. I want that to happen more than anything. But the problem you have is the players look like they're not playing for him, and they're acting like they're not playing for him, and the results show that. So how can I stand there as a fan and be like, yeah, I want him to succeed, but I'm still Frank in, when the players aren't playing for him, so I have to be Frank out.
Well,
but do you not think
it's just like I said a month ago, is that when I turned Arteta out, it's not the fact that I didn't want him out personally, right? It's just the fact that he wasn't doing good enough on the pitch. I don't get me wrong, when he won the FA Cup, I wanted him to take that extra step forward, be back properly, right, and actually progress. And if he did progress, absolutely brilliant. It's not the fact that I didn't want him to succeed at all. I want him to succeed. I want him to prove me wrong, right? I want him to take that Arteta hashtag out of my name straight and succeed at Arsenal, right? But it's like you just brought that comment there, right? That is what Chelsea will do. They'll get rid of Frank. They'll bring Rafa in, which is who I've been shouting at before we even got Arteta, right? And then they'll bring Nagelsmann in.
But that might not necessarily
work. That will screw us over because we won't get Rafa.
Brandon, you were going to make a point over the couple of comments there. What was you thinking?
I mean, but do you not think that after spending £250 million, do you think that third place would be good enough for Chelsea? Do you know what I mean? Like, they've spent a lot of money, and if this was any other team, if this was Arsenal, if this was any other team, you would expect them to be challenging for the league title, no question about it.
The last time they spent that amount of money, the last time they spent that much amount of money, I think, was 04-05, and they won the title straight away.
And the majority of the fan base, rightly so, they expected Chelsea to be challenging for the league title, and I don't think that their expectations is, after spending that sort of money, is unrealistic. It's just, I think what's affecting Chelsea at the moment is Frank Lampard's lack of experience as a manager. He's got more experience than Arteta. He's got more experience than Ollie, you would say. Although Ollie has been a manager for 10 years plus, he's not had the experience at this sort of level. Whereas Frank has had a little bit more experience. But it's the lack of experience that's affecting. I still think Chelsea have got a good enough squad to 100% finish in the top 4. There's no question about that. And I do think that you just need to stick with him. I mean, you look at what Ollie did.
I'd see that's the problem I have, is that if the players aren't playing for him, how long can we stick it out for before because I think if we continue like this and the players don't play for him, I think we won't even finish in the top 10. And that for me
Yeah,
is
but you look at-
unacceptable. We have
Yes.
the squad. The problem I have is last season. Look at last season. He only had youth and he couldn't buy anything. He was taking more risks and we finished 4th. There's no excuse. There is no excuse for the way he's handling shit right now. 4-3-3, play it until it doesn't work. This is not how we play. Like, get a grip.
You were going on the rant here, Charlotte. You were really mad right now. It's cool. I like it. I like it. Feisty. It's nice. Charlie had his hat like a Boy Scout there, and I just wanted to chat.
Thank you. People are. I still feel like people are being unfair to Chelsea. Not Lampard necessarily. First of all, Lampard is not. I don't think he's even more experienced than Arteta, because Arteta had less time as a manager, but he worked under Pep for a while. Yeah. But the thing with Chelsea, like City and Liverpool, have been extremely dominant for a while now. It's not like that year where Chelsea finished 10th and Leicester won the league and they won the next season because no one was that good. Now City and Liverpool are at a level that, like, even if you spend 250, you can't expect them to go head to head with Liverpool and City. Like, not the first season. That's ludicrous. They didn't spend money for a while because of the transfer ban. People are being too reactive. Matt, I feel like young people are just like, they're not patient enough. You just said it. Like, United was 12th. You finished third. Arsenal, like, we're 11th. Like, we're so close. Like, I don't think we're finishing in the top 4, but it's not that crazy to think that. And plus, like, we shouldn't expect that because our team sucks.
Charlie, it's so open this season as well, isn't it? The fact that it really is like a boiling pot of teams that anyone you could put. It's like dunking for apples. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Halloween.
Yeah. But I've never said that these players that we brought in, because me and Charlie have had this discussion where we've discussed, like, from the Bundesliga, like, they're coming over and they play a different type of football over there, and they've come over, and I get you need time to adjust. I'm not taking that away. I'm questioning the fact that the players in the last 4 or 5 games look like they don't want to play for him. Now, if that's the case, and Werner, that looks like he doesn't want to play for him. Havertz looks like he doesn't want to play for him. These are players we've bought this season that look like they don't want to play for him. Ben Chilwell doesn't look the same anymore. This game, he didn't look the same. Now I have to question if these players that he bought and he specifically asked for to buy, and he got them, why aren't they playing for him? That's my question. Why these players aren't playing for him? I'm not questioning, like, why the players, like, I get it takes time. I'm not saying that. But why are the players not playing for him now, all of a sudden? Like, what's happened for players not to want to play for him?
If you sack Lampard now and went and got Rafa Benitez as an interim manager for the rest of the season, where do you think Chelsea would finish?
I don't want Benitez.
Okay, we'll have him.
But he's saying if you did, like, you can't take control of it. I get that. So he's saying, what if that happens? Where do you think he would do a better job than Lampard right now?
I don't know if. I mean,
he's done it before, Rafa.
Benitez done it before. Like, I'm not saying.
Yeah, but he gets a lot of
and he's got a better squad this time.
Benitez isn't long term for Chelsea. End of. Benitez isn't. He would literally be to cover till the end of the season until we find a decent manager. Because personally, I don't particularly. This is the problem I have. Anyone from the Bundesliga, I don't want. Anyone from League One, I don't want. I want a Premier League based manager that's worked in the Premier League before, that knows the Premier League, because the Bundesliga and League One are different. Like, I need someone that's on this page. And yes, I'm being really fussy right now. I'm allowed to be. Like, this is my prerogative right now. Like, end of. But I think Benitez might change it up and it might be a little bit different. So I'm like, I'd take Benitez to the end of the season. Like, I'm in game for that. Roman, if you're listening to me, this is what I want.
Can I also just say,
I was also just going to add is that the problem is, you say something like a long-term manager. Whenever Chelsea had a long-term manager,
Wayne, go on.
Yeah, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Like, you don't want a manager from the Bundesliga. Have you seen, like, the class that
the best.
The problem I have is that.
Hang on, let Wayne finish. Let him go.
Yeah, it's a big example of why the Bundesliga.
Do you want Arteta?
Who wants that? I don't know, But like, for instance, Jurgen Klopp's probably considered the best manager in the world at this current time, and he's from the Bundesliga. And you're saying you don't want a manager from the Bundesliga? It's just ridiculous. I don't know what.
It's not.
Yeah.
Okay, look how long it took Klopp to adjust to the Premier League. Yeah, okay, thank you. Point proven. I don't want someone that has to adjust.
Okay.
I want someone that can come in and make this team great. Like, the Bundesliga play a completely different style of football. Like, that's not what I want. I want the team we have to be made into a great team. I don't particularly want a manager of the Bundesliga would have to take time to adjust. That's a couple of years. Are you quite content with the first couple of years not having a trophy and not getting top four? Because if that's the case, like, I'm debating Chelsea fan style now. Because I don't want to not finish with Champions League, and that's because I want my team to do well.
What about Tony Lewis?
I'm always here to back my team, whatever happens.
Liverpool has a self-sustaining model. They would never spend the money that Chelsea spends. A Jurgen Klopp wouldn't need as much time at Chelsea as he did in Liverpool. Like, Char, like you got to calm down. You have got to. For your own sake, I like you a lot. Like, calm down.
This is just stressing me out, you know.
Like I can't, like, the intensity. I don't deal well with it. Yeah, I was gonna ask how many. You should double it. You're very mean. You're very mean when you're sober.
No.
The problem with Chelsea fans, right, is they've been used to success. They're one of the most successful teams in the last 10 years, right? So they're so used to success that when things like this happen, they don't know what to do with themselves. You know, I think personally, I don't rate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager. I think Manchester United's squad is what carries them through, right? Because they have a top squad. I think if you stick with Lampard, I do think your squad will carry you through because you have you have a brilliant squad there. You can't deny that, surely.
And no, I'm not denying that I don't have a brilliant squad, and I've never not said that. The problem I have is that the players aren't playing for Lampard. Like, what if we get to the end of the season? Like, just hypothetical here. What if we get to the end of the season and the players still aren't playing for Lampard and we finish like 15th? Like, Wayne, would you be happy with that?
I wouldn't, but obviously I'll still back my team. I wouldn't like.
I'm not saying I'm not supporting my team. I'm just saying I think Lampard needs to go. Like, if the players aren't playing for the manager, how long can we tolerate if the players not playing for the manager? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This guy is like really hating on some crazy stuff right now. Yeah, sheep from Leeds. Yeah, rats in Liverpool. You got an agenda there, MUFC.
Oh, Charlie.
Chelsea
so spoiled.
No, I'm waiting for Ray Charles to turn up.
Ray Charles to turn up.
Let's talk about Manchester United fans anyway, because I'm hearing a lot that a lot of fans seem to think 21 is coming home. What do you make of that?
I'm not into
shit. Oh, DC's on the terrace. Oh shit.
I'm not into that superstitious bullshit, mate. You know what I mean? Like, if it happens, it just does happen. But I don't think we're a long way away from that. But like going back on what Charlie said and what we said earlier, anything could happen. Honestly, like I said earlier to someone, Crystal Palace are like, I think it's like 12 points off the top and 11 points off the relegation battle. That's how, and they're fighting for 15th. You know,
Yeah.
It could go either way at the moment, even for them. Like, if they win 2 or 3 games and people at the top drop a few games, it changes everything. I think it's so exciting this year. It's a shame that fans aren't involved, you know what I mean? But it is so exciting. I can't wait to see the last day as well of the Premier League. Going to be amazing.
That's gonna be dope. I do feel that United fans are being way too careless because it's too soon, and United, as of recent years, they've been so inconsistent that for so many people to be saying, "Yo, the trophy's coming back," it's too soon. Like, Liverpool's got a much better manager. They have a better team that's injured now, and like most of them are gonna come back. So it's careless. That's why you see, like, you don't see Matt acting like that, but the 14, the 15-year-olds, they're like, we're winning.
Yeah.
But you have to remember this when we had 14 games this season. Last season we'd played 18 games, and there lies the difference. Like, we've only played 17 games. Like, we've still got a long way to go, and Man United could and I'm not saying Matt's never said that like anything about titles or anything, but there are some Man United fans that I've seen that are like, yeah, we could win the title, and I'm like, you're 17 games in, like, when it gets to like March, April, then come talk to me, like, when you've kept it consistent, like, and you've actually made it through the hardest part of the season, which is after the Christmas period. Like, come talk to me then. Like, but like, I don't think anyone, not even, I think you can predict where you'd like your team to finish, but I don't think anyone knows for certain where exactly any team is going to end up, because this is probably like the closest Premier League and the most exciting Premier League in years. Like, and no one's going to call anything until I'd give it like the last week or two.
Exactly.
Maybe the last day.
The problem with Manchester United is they can go on a mad run, but they can also fall apart as well. So anyway, that's I'm going to leave that as my last comment, guys. I've got to jump off. I've got to go put my daughter to bed. So I appreciate it. And I'll see you soon.
Where they can find you, mate.
Yeah, Brandon AFC Fan TV on YouTube. Also, my Twitter link is on my channel as well. So if you want to come follow me on that, do so. Any fans welcome, even especially Chelsea fans. You know, if you want a bit of banter, come find me.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
All right, have a good one, mate.
Let's keep going. We're still
Matt, full screen it.
Full screen it. What to you, mate? All right, okay, okay. Here we go. Ta-da! I can't see.
What is it?
No, you got
the dressing room. Oh, janitor.
Was it?
Brightness down. I couldn't really see.
That's the terrace.
You got it. So Wayne, look, what do you think? Was you saying Lampard out? You think he's not the guy now?
It's not ready. It's a big. The job was too big for him, but it was like because everyone wanted a legend to manage the club eventually. And I think it was just too soon, and you're seeing it now that it's not working. So it's better off finding someone like Tuchel or Julian to like take over, or might as well get Rafa, or even I might as well take Gus Hiddink. He's done a job before. 2009 we got FA Cup, but you know. It's the best time to get rid of him because obviously the window's still open, and you can get more players.
Jesus Christ, more?
Well,
are there players left?
I think we.
Is there anyone else left to buy?
I mean, we could. I think
Lampard's doing the greatest example of how to lose at FIFA.
Yeah. Yo, Abramovich, if you're watching this, just spend the money on calming down the fans. Whatever it takes. Mainly these two.
I can't.
So what are you making of well, we got United in the Carabao Cup, haven't we? Chelsea are not in it, are they?
No, we lost to Tottenham. So
you're out of that cup, and you are out of the FA Cup. No, you're still in it. Of course you are. Who you got in the FA Cup?
Morecambe.
Oh yeah, of course, because that guy put the comment in earlier. What do you make of that? Is that an away game?
I think that's a home game, I believe.
Oh, that's cool. Cause you ain't got to go to a boggy ground or anything. But who have Arsenal got in the FA Cup there?
Newcastle at home.
Oh yes, you have.
You've got who?
Newcastle.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That's right, because I want to get for a Newcastle versus Arsenal preview or match reaction or whatever. But
yeah, you can jump onto mine.
Yeah, mate, definitely.
That's if you turn up on time.
Right, as well.
Yeah. Tottenham got Marine. Who the fuck are they?
Marine FC. Oh, they're gonna go.
If honestly, I will banter every Tottenham fan if they do not beat them. If he parks the bus against Marine, I will banter him.
I mean,
you can't park the bus against Marine. I'm sorry.
Would you agree with that,
What?
Yeah, Chelsea more home game.
In front of Mourinho.
What's this team you're talking about? Because I'm not making fun of Tottenham. What's the other team? Because I still haven't heard it right.
Marine.
Marine.
It's a non-league team.
Marine FC.
I mean,
basically what we're saying, even if they won, but they parked the bus against a non-league side,
they're not going to.
That's embarrassing.
Team of English football.
They're not going to park the bus. The only way that Spurs is going to lose to a team like this, if it's a final, right? If it's not a final, they're going to win. They're going to go through.
Go on, Charlotte.
Maybe we can talk about last year if you want for Spurs. I don't want to hurt any Spurs fans, but stab them out there.
To be fair with Spurs, Spurs is that right, they could be in a one-horse race and still finish second.
Yeah,
they know how to bottle it. They are literally the best at bottle jobbing any job. Like, they know how to bottle everything. Champions League.
Everyone needs to be the best at something, right? They're the best at being the worst. Yeah,
exactly. And I enjoy it.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance they're gonna win the Carabao Cup. I feel like it's the only team, not even in England, like in the world, that takes that competition seriously. So they might win it again.
City.
That's gonna buy them another 13 years where they can cruise without winning anything. They'll get the handshake that you win when you win the Carabao Cup, and they're gonna be happy.
So what do you make of the rest of the season? Do you think, like I said, it's going to be up and down? Nobody knows exactly where they're going to finish right now.
I'll stop predicting.
It's a bit too predictive, isn't it, to say, like, oh, we're not going to make this position. Anybody right now, even Sheffield United, could get out of the drop zone. Do you know what I mean?
That's probably the only thing I will predict.
Huh?
No, that they're going down.
Sheffield United. I honestly, Sheffield. Honest to God, everyone says about like the fans, whether they make a difference or not. You look at Sheffield United since they've come back from lockdown, right? The first lockdown, they have fallen like a stone.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Right? They have literally fallen like a stone. They have played like a championship side from that period all the way to now. So the people that say that doesn't make a difference, go and look at Sheffield United, because, I mean, even against Crystal Palace, I mean, it was just embarrassing.
For sure. It's I'd say more than that. I honestly feel like relegation's been solved. It's gonna be these three that are there right now. I can't see anyone else other than Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield being relegated. Unless Leno gets injured, that might change things. I hope that doesn't happen, but I'd say it's those three. Like they're clearly like a lot worse than the rest of the league. Sheffield was like they might have been the most overachieving club ever last season. I know people talk about Leicester, but that crappy team that Sheffield has, finishing like 9th, that's the biggest overachievement I've ever seen. Yeah, that's. And they don't have the players, mate. Like each one of them has two or three decent players. What?
Did they invest heavily in the summer? I don't think they did they?
No.
They can't invest heavily.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have the money like Chelsea,
Man
City, Liverpool, like any of these teams have.
No, it's what I said to a mate of mine last, because a mate of mine's a Norwich fan. And last season, I said to him, as he popped round to watch us destroy him, I said, this is why you're going to the Championship, because your owner, Delia Smith, would rather pay more for to do a new cookery book, right, rather than actually spend on your football club.
A cookery book?
It did, Delia Smith.
Norwich.
Yeah. She'd rather spend more on a cookery book than spend on Norwich City.
Oh, you don't want Gordon Ramsay taking over Arsenal? Is that what you mean?
Oh, do you know what? Gordon Ramsay, I would happily let Gordon Ramsay take over Chelsea on several conditions. A, every Chelsea fan gets free food, like, for the whole year. Like, every year, we get free food every time we go to his restaurant. No, I actually wouldn't. although he probably would lay down the law a little bit more than Frank does. So I mean,
I won't want to see him in a dressing room.
and I wouldn't, and I'd be too scared to piss him off either. So that might be incentive for any player any players he takes on, because they'd be too scared to piss him off. Like,
Yes. Have you seen Hell's Kitchen? The
yes,
dude's
I love
crazy.
Hell's
Yeah.
Kitchen.
Me
He's
too.
literally off. He's literally batshit crazy. The man
Yeah.
loses it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He loses
I think
it
that's a
over,
good shout. That's a good shout.
I think it's a great shout, to be fair. I think even at Arsenal or Chelsea, he'd do great, because the players would be too scared to piss him off. The board would be too scared to sack him because they're too worried he'd lose his shit.
You know what?
Like,
That's the thing.
and
That's
no
the
one would
thing.
want to mess up because he'd lose it.
That's the thing I have with is that John. You wouldn't see John Terry put up with this. You wouldn't see Frank Lampard when he was a player put up with this. So
yeah,
I
but
don't-
John Terry was the best captain we've ever had. Like, personally, in
That's
my
what I'm
opinion, he's
saying.
one of the
He
best
wouldn't- he
captains
wouldn't let-
and
he wouldn't let
leaders.
them get
He's
away
the
with
best
it.
leader we had. However, like, he is one of the best leaders that we've ever had in the
Hey, you
locker
should give
room.
him a
Like,
try as
we
a
don't
manager then.
particularly have a leadership like we did have, like Terry, who would lay down the law. Like, we don't have that anymore. Like, they're like, yeah, we've got Aspie, but he's not particularly. I mean, yeah, he says he doesn't lay down the law or anything. He's a little too nice for my liking. You need someone that's going to just lay down the law.
Would you agree with that, Charlie? We're talking about Thiago Silva here.
Poch would. Pardon?
Are we talking about Thiago Silva here?
I'm talking about Aspie.
Oh, Aspie.
No, I'm talking about Aspilicueta. I'm
not
talking about Silva. Silva's probably been one of the only people that's actually, you see him on Instagram actually focusing on what he wants to do on the tactics side. Like, I haven't got a comment about Silva, but yeah, Silva has had bad games, and I can't. If people have bad games, I'm going to call them out on it. But overall, Silva's not been horrific for me.
He's a
but
monster.
Aspie's too soft of a leader. Like, he's too nice.
What do you make of this comment down below? The fact that Pochettino's gone to PSG. We haven't talked about
Congratulations.
that.
Congratulations. Why would I want a manager that hasn't won anything? Why would I want a manager that hasn't? Oh,
it's
sorry,
No. I didn't like. I was gonna. No, I'm just agreeing with you. It's like, just that
true.
I went to a French school, so I have friends that are PSG fans, and they, like, a lot of them are excited, and I'm like, what's your proof that Pochettino is better than Tuchel? Like, what's the proof there? Because Tuchel's actually won something before.
Yeah.
I know Pochettino turned a small club into a medium club. I'm aware of that. But it took him a while, and PSG is not a long-term, like, it's not a long-term club.
Term.
It's like Chelsea. Yeah, it's one of those rich
where they want to see action.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money. They want, like, immediate success. With PSG, it's even harder because, I mean, why am I saying it's even harder? Because Chelsea's been, like, the most successful club in England in the 21st century. So for PSG, it's really tough because their league is horrible. Like, they have no competition. This season, they're struggling, it's probably for the best that the other teams are improving, because until that happens, there's no way they're going to win the Champions League. Like, you can't go from playing against Dijon and Nantes to play against Bayern München. You just can't.
Yeah, I agree.
So you think it was a bad move for him?
I think it's just placing a bet. Oh, you mean for Poch?
I agree.
Poch was great. He's gonna get filthy rich, but for PSG,
I think, to be honest, I think the only one that's going to benefit out of it is Pochettino, because
he's not going to succeed. The problem is he's not going to succeed.
I hope he murders Neymar. I hope he slaps the crap out of Neymar.
Could that help his
I hope so too. But the problem is he's not going to succeed in PSG ever, and the fact that they think that is, like, he could prove me wrong. But I personally don't believe. Like, how long was he at Spurs? And he does have some, like, Spurs have good players. Like, I'm not saying they're all good players. Don't even comment on that. But Son and Kane are decent. at diving. But they do have like Spurs should have, but they bottled it as per usual. But I mean, I particularly think he's going to do anything. And if I was PSG, I would have wanted someone who's actually got experience and won something.
We thought
but he hasn't won anything.
You kept cutting out. Sorry, Charlotte.
I think he'll be gone by this time next year.
Yo, you're cutting, Char. You're cutting, Char. You're cutting. It sounds like you have hiccups.
Charlotte, you're going just a bit like Frank Lampard.
Mr. Booth. Mr. Booth.
I think he'll be gone next. I think he'll be gone this time next year.
You'll be gone quicker than Lampard the way that's going. See, look, boom.
What about you, Will? Wayne? Wayne, what do you think about Pochettino going there? You think it was a good thing?
I mean, it's probably going to do him a lot of good. Apparently, he wants to take Dele Alli with him, so he wants to sign Dele Alli. I think he has a good relationship with him.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Rafa's back for 6 months now.
What the? Come on. Yo, Charles, it's not working out.
Is she in the same room as our router?
Yeah, I'm trying to mute her, but it's not actually letting me mute her.
Can you hear me?
Try again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
Hear me, guys?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
okay.
No.
That's perfect. I think Poch will be gone by this time next year.
Would you agree with that, Wayne?
What? Just when?
Yeah, I'll give him 2 seasons.
Yeah. Just the season or 2.
Yeah. By the
I
way,
think he'll be gone this time in January.
Go on, Charlie.
A team just lost the Champions League final. They get a new manager to win the Champions League. What's the first time the guy does? I want Dele Alli. Come on.
That's banter.
That's the worst idea anyone's ever had in football. Like, come.
How to destroy PSG?
Watch
his way.
I can't. Someone say something.
Why Dele Alli? Why Dele Alli for PSG? Like no one in the Premier League. I don't think
he needs.
How can you compare? How can you compare Neymar and Mbappe to Dele Alli? Like, how can you even bring that comparison to life?
There's no comparison. They're not in the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. How can you bring them into the same team? That's embarrassing. Poor Neymar, poor Mbappe. Feel sorry for them having to put up with Dele Alli.
I know he's a good talent, but it's an easier league, so they know he might still look like he's world class, even though he isn't. Because he's not doing anything at Spurs at the moment, is he? He's been outshunned by Kane, Son. Not even Bale. Bale hasn't done nothing recently.
No, I knew.
I'm sorry. Who's Bale? Who's Bale?
Yeah, it's a golfer.
Oh, a golfer.
No, Rail.
Who is Bale?
Oh yeah,
I don't know who he
Bale
is.
from Rail. The guy from Bale from Rail.
I haven't seen him. Like, I haven't seen him turn up, so I don't know who he is.
I saw him on a golf course with Donald Trump.
Ah, him, the golfer with Donald Trump. I get you now.
It's
by the way, I did not lose the election. The election was totally.
Charlie, what was you going to say about that?
To be fair, like Dele Alli probably has the standards to play against the lower half of the French league, but why would you spend the money on that? Like, why is that the first name that comes to your? By the way, I wouldn't feel bad for Neymar. I hate the geezer, so I hope Dele Alli goes along with Ozil and Eriksen. Who gives a crap? But it's it just blows my mind. The first thing that someone's gonna think about it's bringing Dele Alli, like someone who, like, what did he have? 2 good seasons and then nothing ever again. Jesse Lingard, like done, over, no football.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I really don't.
I don't either. Should we wrap it up there, everybody? Everybody probably wants to go for a pee and another drink. I definitely.
I'm not.
Is everybody Charles' new like nickname?
What?
What?
Say that again. I didn't compute.
No, it's just because I meant to say char. Yeah, yeah, she got it. She got it. Because you said everyone. You said everyone needs to pee and get another drink, and I said, is that her new nickname? Everyone.
That should be her new nickname.
That was really good, Charles.
Is that my new nickname? I was like, oh, it could be if you really
So,
want.
right, she'll DM later. She'll DM later after 3 bottles of wine. No, Lampard needs to stay. He needs more time.
I can actually see that happening as well.
Oh, God, Jesus.
That's the worst part, is I can see this happening. Oh, it only takes a couple of bottles of wine and I'm done for. Oh, dear me.
I did not promote that. No, I did not promote that in any way.
Anyway, guys, let's do your chat out for your. Let everybody know where they can find you. Start off with Stephen first.
You can find us on S-Featly TV on YouTube, and all my social links are in every video description that I do anyway. So, yeah. So, and DM me or join in and subscribe to S-Featly TV and try and get to 1,000 subscribers.
Charlie.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter. I'm doing something cool where I'm like presenting you Europeans and English people to Brazilian talent coming from Brazil, like younger players, doing that like every 3 days or so. So definitely check it out and stay tuned to Sarcasm City TV. Tomorrow's the 2nd episode of our new Arsenal show at 9 p.m. UK time. I'm excited.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. You see it, my at there, at Wayne_Smith 1998. Yeah, you see my thoughts for my tweets. I'm in the Mandem group on the Twitter. You'll find me there, occasionally commenting on what people have to say. But yeah, keep it real.
Cheers, Wayne.
Yeah.
And Charlotte.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Charl_strong.
And you can find her on a few bottles of booze too on a stream. And I'm with you though. I'm drinking as well. It's okay.
It's about time someone joins me to the dark side.
Well, I've got work tomorrow, so I was like, I need to just get rid of my Christmas beer now, don't I? Because it was.
That's a big mistake, working tomorrow on a hangover.
I ain't saying a word.
Years to go through, you know what I mean? And I've only gone through 2 right now, and I've only got about 6 hours left until I've got to go to bed. Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? Everybody, thank you so much. Share, subscribe, like, do what you can, and thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow talking with Sav about Newcastle. She's meant to come on earlier, but something happened. Hope she's all right, and everyone in her family. And take care, everybody. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.